Hello, today we're looking at the concept of God being our bread of life and the fact that only He can fully satisfy. And in Proverbs 13, verse 25, I was prompted to think about this as it says, "The righteous have enough to eat, but the wicked always go hungry." Now, in this context, I do think this is talking about physical food. You know, that the righteous will always have enough to eat physically, but the wicked, those that don't believe in God, it's probably a lighter way of saying it, always go hungry. But it really got me kind of thinking about actually, spiritually speaking, we know from the Bible that only God can fully satisfy, and how without Him, you will go hungry spiritually, you'll always be longing for more. And we know this, for example, from Psalm 107, verse 9, which says, "For he being God, satisfies the longing soul, and the hungry soul He fills with good things." And this verse literally kind of says what it goes on to say later in the New Testament about Jesus being the bread of life, where only He can satisfy the longing soul. Every human being in them has been created with a spiritual void, with a need to know God, their creator, and without Him we're going to be spiritually hungry. And He is the only one that can truly fill that longing that we have deep within us. So on to the bread of life. In John 6, verse 35, this is Jesus speaking. He says, "I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never hunger, and whoever believes in me will never thirst." And Jesus is saying, I am the only one that can fully satisfy. I'm the only one that can bring you, spiritual wholeness, peace, joy, all of the fruits of the Spirit, and all of those things we can only find truly in Jesus, and to feel full satisfaction in Him. Apart from Him, we can't be truly satisfied. We'll always be longing for the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, to fill a spiritual void within us, which is why those that don't know Jesus are always looking for the next thing to fill that spiritual longing, because they're trying to plug the gap, but Jesus is the answer to their problem. And in the book of Ecclesiastes in the Bible, it talks a lot about how kind of things like wealth and the things of the world can't satisfy. It talks about how there isn't meaning in life, apart from God and apart from Jesus. And we can see this, the rich people in the world nowadays, there's rich people that have come out and said, actually, money hasn't made me happy. It isn't the thing that's fully satisfied. I know Lethal Bizzle, the rapper, he wrote a song called "A Million Pound Dream," and it basically says that he thought in his life if he became a millionaire, which he has become through his rapping, he'd be happy, he'd be fully satisfied. And he said, actually, I've become a millionaire and I'm not truly happy. I've realised that things like family and friends are more important, but actually it hasn't brought me full satisfaction like I thought it was. And it says in the Bible, in Ecclesiastes, this is basically the case. And Lethal Bizzle was an example with someone who said that. And that's going to go along with other famous celebrities that have become famous and wealthy and have realised, actually, there is still a longing inside of me. And we know as Christians that Jesus is the answer to that ultimate longing. And in 2 Corinthians 4, verse 18, it says, "So fix your eyes on the unseen, which is eternal." This is kind of me paraphrasing it. "Fix your eyes on the unseen, which is eternal, not on the seen, those things around you, which is only temporary." And it's so true. Like, all of these things in the world are fleeting, they're temporary. You think of the latest video game, the latest food, the latest kind of gadgets. It's all temporary. I love watching Brighton play football. I go to a Brighton game, and you think, when I was younger, I used to think, if I go to a Brighton game and they win, I'll be happy. If I go to a Brighton game and they lose, I'll be sad. Actually, okay, if I went to a game and they won, I was happier. But then, a couple of minutes, few hours later, I was like, I was happy, I felt like I was fulfilled, and actually now I'm still longing for something else. Even the earthly things that you think will make you happy only do for a short term. They don't fully satisfy that longing inside of you. The latest video game can come out. You can enjoy playing it. I enjoy playing FIFA. I enjoy going to KFC. I enjoy all of these things that the world has to offer. But they don't fully satisfy it. That you can enjoy them for a short period of time, and then it's like, what's next? Jesus and God are the only ones who can fully satisfy our souls and can fully satisfy our needs. And they really, God is the one that has brought us true meaning to life. If you're a Christian, there is a true meaning to life in Jesus. He can bring you satisfaction in him. He has a purpose for your life. He wants to use you to shed the hope and light to others. It's amazing that God's grace is extended to everyone. It says, no longer Jew nor Greek, slave nor free, male nor female. The gospel is open to everyone, and this spiritual satisfaction, Jesus is the bread of life, because he died on the cross, is open to everyone. And we as Christians have a duty, and it's a privilege as well as a responsibility, to share that hope with others, to say, there is a God out there who cares for you, who died for you. He wants to fill your spiritual longings, and he wants to help you in day-to-day life, as well as guaranteeing you a place in eternity, which is just amazing when we're all sinners that don't deserve grace. So I just want to encourage, keep looking to God, seek after him, spend time with him. He is the one that's going to fully satisfy your soul. You're going to be more fruitful as a Christian if you stay close to God. You're going to be more satisfied and joyful and peaceful as a Christian if you stay close to God. And then that hope and that joy and that peace that you have in Jesus, look to share with others where you can, because people so desperately need him, and we have a mission, we have a meaning in life to do that. It's an amazing privilege, but also a responsibility. So I just want to encourage you with these passages today.